So I'm talking to one of our executive property managers, Sherry, not too long ago. And Sherry said, Mark, I made a mistake. I was trying to do a good deed, had a property where the water heater went out, and I'm taking care of it. Like everything's going great. I called the plumber. They're out there. Everything's going smooth as could be. And then I messed up. I called the owner just to give him a heads up that the water heater was being replaced. And that's when everything came to a screeching halt, because they were like, well, hold on, tell me more. Did you get a couple bids? I think I know a guy. Don't do anything until you hear back from me. And I got the vendor there, and I got the tenant there with the kids, and they're screaming, and why did I do that? And I said, Sherry, I understand. We've all done those types of things. So it's a good time to revisit the topic of when should you inform your owner clients about a property repair. There's a lot of options and a lot of opinions. This is not a right or wrong, by the way. If you say, well, what Sherry did wrong is she didn't have the owner pre-informed. She should have been notified, that owner should have been notified when the tenant submitted the repair request. Do it how you want to do it. I'm just going to tell you, in our opinion, what works well operationally and what I suggest you consider, especially if you're running into problems like Sherry ran into with owners getting overly involved in this. Now, maintenance is a hard process. But the question always comes up, well, when do we bring them in to the process? Let me offer you a couple thoughts and then specific suggestions that we have done and we do currently to make the maintenance process around information to owners, because we want to be communicative, the best things for us. So a couple things to consider. Number one, is there a maintenance limit? In your property management agreement, you probably have a maintenance limit where it says, hey, we will just go ahead and take care of anything if it's under this dollar threshold amount. We're not going to bother you. We're not going to call you to be like, hey, the sink's leaking. Is it okay to spend $100 to fix it? Like, there is a threshold. Now, if the repair request is under the threshold, that should be a no-brainer. Like, do not involve your owner at all. They'll see it on their statement. But this is where you have to use your wisdom a little bit, because what if it's real close to the threshold? And my threshold's $500. This is going to be $490. So is it okay not to inform them? Oh, it's going to be $502. I better call them. This is where you have to know your owner. Use some judgment, but if it's significantly below the threshold, don't even bring them in at all. It serves no purpose. Is it an emergency, right? Is it truly a water heater that needs to be replaced and you have to get the water going on, or maybe there's no heat in the middle of winter? You want to pause that and be like, well, hold on, don't replace the thermocoupler. I think don't I sound like I know what I'm talking about? I think there's a thermocoupler in a heater, I'm not quite sure. Don't replace the thermocoupler, let me check with the owner first. If it's an emergency, you got to get things done. So that comes into play in this situation. Along those lines, are there legal aspects? Many states are putting more habitability laws in place. I'm in Colorado. We have specific habitability laws that include timelines. If a repair issue comes in and it's a habitability issue, the clock starts ticking. Legally, we have to get certain things done within a certain time frame, or we have violated the law and we're going to be financially penalized. So I don't have the option of being like, well, think about it and let me know by Tuesday, Mr. Owner. No. The law doesn't give me that flexibility. So that's an aspect of these questions and decisions. And then you have to ask yourself, what's the owner going to bring to this? If I call them and tell them the water heater is about to be replaced, what do I expect them to do? Am I asking them for their approval? Are they going to offer some thoughts? Are they going to have an opinion and a recommendation beyond where I'm at? Am I going to be like, oh, I didn't think about getting a second bid. That's a really good idea. Let me see who else I can call. Like, what are they going to bring to the table? Because if they're not bringing anything to the table, maybe you shouldn't bring them in, because you're just mucking up the process and system. So with those considerations in mind, let me give you some specific things that we do and recommendations on that. But before I do, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, PMW Property Manager Websites. Right now, at the time I'm recording this video, we are in the middle of PMW giving us complete website overhaul. It's been a number of years since we've overhauled it. Yesterday, I spent about 7 hours going through every page on my website, updating text and content, sending it off to them for them to update as part of this major rebrand refresh. We're even doing don't tell anybody, but we're doing a new logo and a new complete rebrand. It's not probably out yet. It might be out by the time this video comes out. I'll let you all know when it comes out, so you can go onto our site at rentgrace.com and do what you always do, which is copy everything we do on our website. That's fine though. Flattery, the best part of flattery is impersonation, whatever I'm talking about, but everybody else is copying it, so whatever. Jump on our website though when it's done, see the refresh. If you need a website update, this is all I would do. Reach out to PMW, find out how they can help you with your website and your overall marketing to bring leads into your company. I can talk for days about that, but I'll let you know when we get our new website rebrand and refresh done. Okay, what are some recommendations? Recommendation number one. I'm big on this. I strongly recommend that if your software has a setting that allows your owner clients to be informed and notified at the time the tenants make repair requests, you turn that off. Don't do that. This is one of the key things that you can tell if a property manager if they're new and they're a novice, because they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? I didn't realize I had that toggle button. I'm gonna turn it on so my owner, hey owner, you're gonna be informed when your tenants submit a repair request, because I believe in transparency and communication and I wanna keep you in the loop. The owner's like, oh, okay, cool. And you think, God, this is great. I'm gonna be the greatest property manager ever. And then you make the mistake of turning it on. And now you've just opened up a Pandora's box. And for those of you that have tried it, you know what I'm talking about. Because now the repair request comes in, maybe you haven't even seen it yet, and you suddenly get a text, an email, a phone call from your owner client, and they're like, and here's what they say, hey, just wanted to make sure you saw that water request. I mean, water's a big deal, right? They said there's a leaky faucet there. Did you get it? And you're like, yeah, it just came through like 5 seconds ago. Like, how did you even know? I think you called me before I even got the email. That's crazy. Well, I want to make sure, okay, what's the protocol for that? What are we going to do? And hold on, before you do it, I think this might be the tenant's responsibility, because, you know, this happened about 7 years ago, and I want to make sure that they end up paying for this, not me. So make sure that you don't send anybody out until you confirm this is not their responsibility, because I think it is. And then how much does the vendor charge anyway? Because I might know somebody, and you're just like, what? Oh my gosh, what did I do? What did I do? Well, what you did wrong is you set your software to inform the owner when the repair request goes out. I could tell you story after story after story, but don't do that. Be the expert. They hire you so they don't have to be bothered by this stuff. So don't inform them at the time the repair request comes in. Like, that's a deal killer. Absolutely do not do that. Number two, be clear in your property management agreement upon what this communication is going to look like. Yes, put in your PMA, but even more importantly, communicate it to them on the front end. You can't bury it in your PMA and then you get in an argument later. And you're like, you know, on page 17, subsection 25, line 7, it specifically says I do not have to call you in advance. Like, if you're going there, you already lost the conversation. You lost the argument, because it's like because the PMA says so. No. You need to be able to communicate with them and explain why it's in their best interest and the best interest of the overall process for you to do it the way you did it. So no, Mr. Owner, in an effort to be fast with our service, we can't muck up the system by suddenly pausing everything and calling you and being like, hey, the refrigerator's not working. What do you want to do? You're never going to get that call from us. You hire us for our judgment. You hire us for our expertise. You hire us for our vendor network. We will fix things when they break. That's correct. And if you don't trust me, don't hire me. But that's the way we operate. And say it a little bit gentler than I just did there. But be very clear on when you will reach out to them and when you won't on that phone conversation on the front end. Number three, inform them, but not until the work is done. Okay, so if you're like, oh, I just want to tell them, that's fine. What Sherry should have done is waited until the water heater was replaced. Then call the owner and do the good deed of, hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up, Mr. Owner Client. The water heater went out this morning. We already got it taken care of. You'll see an invoice on the statement, but I want to let you know everything's fine, but we got that done, and you can expect to see the bill. That's a much better conversation than the water heater went out, I got the vendor at the property, just wanted to give you the heads up. Wait until it's done. Don't ask for permission to get the things done that are necessary to get done for you to follow the law, to follow the lease agreement, to follow the things that you have to do. So my recommendation is wait until the end to inform them, if you're going to inform them before their statement comes out. And lastly, you got to know your owner. This is where knowing your owners is so important. We say in our company that we are a relationship-based property management company. Why? Because we know our owners. If we know that one owner is going to go ballistic when he finds out that he had to replace that 18-year-old water heater, then yeah, you better get on the phone earlier in the process versus the owner who's just like, hey, if something breaks, fix it, and I'll see it on my statement. I'm busy sleeping on my hammock in Hawaii, so don't bother me. Know your owner clients. Yes, have a process. Yes, have standards. Yes, have consistency. But Don't forget this is a people business, and different people want to be informed in different ways. So you've got to build that in somehow. Now, I know some of you that are systems and processes, you're like, well, that's ridiculous. That would muck up, I'm doing 500 different things. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying know your owner clients. If you know that owner client's going to flip, then at least pick up the phone or send them an email after the work was done. Don't wait till they see that on their statement and they don't get a direct deposit into their checking account that month. That will send them into spiraling. So know your owner clients, know when to reach out, use diplomacy. Diplomacy is not a word we talk about in this industry a lot, but I think it's one of the keys to being successful. Be diplomatic. Diplomacy means getting your way, but making all the parties happy anyway. There's Marc's definition of diplomacy. Hey, my friends, how else can we be a resource to you? Jump on our website, PM Build. Check out our podcast. Have you joined our Facebook group yet? We've got over 1,000 property managers talking about this kind of stuff on a daily basis. If you're a Facebook person, just Google or Facebook PM Build. You'll see our group there. You have to answer some questions to make sure we confirm you're a legit PM, and we'll let you into the group there, and you can engage in conversation here. Look at our podcast, jump on the website. How can we help you? But until next time, and as always, I wish you success.